Welcome to Dynasty Week.
Once a year around this time, we have ourselves a good old-fashioned Dynasty Week. The theme of today's show will be Dynasty-related, and to help us celebrate it, we are giving away a signed Jimmy Cook, of the Buffalo Bills. I almost called him the Buffalo Bears because this bear is in my face.
I mean, he's large. He's a full grizzly.
But if you want in on that, all you got to do is have pre-ordered the Ultimate Draft Kit, the UDK Plus, be an Ultimate Tier Foot Clan supporter. You can do
any of the above. No, you don't have to do all of that.
No. You just pick one of those, and then not only are you securing the UDK for the lowest possible price,
which releases in about 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. 2 weeks. There's something you're going to grab to help you out with the draft. You might win a signed James Cook jersey, which that's a win-win-win.
James Dalvin Cook, a great running back.
Man, he got real good.
He really did.
He got real good.
He went from a guy that was like, well, he was efficient with touchdowns, doesn't get a lot of volume, to just the dude. Oh, they were split it 2 ways. They're splitting it 3 ways. Now it's just like, man, he's too good. He's too good to give anyone else the ball there, and led the league in rushing, so that makes sense.
So check that out, ultimatedraftkit.com, or jointhefoot.com if you want to be one of the long-term supporters of the show. Today's quick question: who is a later round pick in rookie drafts not getting talked about enough?
I'll bring up Andy's since he's not here, and because you probably don't agree with it as much as myself and Andy do.
I totally agree that he is a sleeper.
You didn't love the film.
Correct.
And that's fine. Because
nor did the Tennessee Titans. I mean, they liked it enough.
They liked it enough to draft him.
But in the 5th round for what we're looking for.
Your better argument there was nor did the NFL.
Okay.
Because all the teams let him drop to the 5th. The Titans were the one that actually pulled the trigger. Nicholas Singleton.
Yeah, I think they were like, eh.
Well, they needed depth. Tony Pollard is getting older. Tajay Spears is a smaller, kind of more niche back. Nicholas Singleton in the 5th round, this was a guy who was the #1 recruit in the nation. Okay, so he came into college as a very, very highly touted high school athlete. And then in college, all he did was he had a 4-year career at Penn State as the all-time leading touchdown scorer with 45 rushing touchdowns. And I've brought this up on the Dynasty show, probably this show, in the past. There's a weird correlation between fantasy football success in the NFL and, for the running back position, rushing touchdowns in college. That is one of the stickier stats. Not that rushing touchdowns necessarily are sticky, but that one has a high correlation to success in the NFL. You don't get much better than 45. Oh, and also, he had over 100 receptions in college. That's an outrageously high number. So you're telling me that the two things that score fantasy points, he can catch the ball and he can score touchdowns. He's 220-plus pounds. So he can be used in a goal line situation. I don't feel like that's really Tony Pollard or Tajay Spears' specialty. So this is just someone, it's a sleeper, it's a 5th round NFL draft pick. We usually just look at them as wisps of smoke in the air and try to smell oh, this smells good.
Is it a fire?
Yeah,
I don't know. Do I like this?
Every now and then you can find, a Bucky Irving day 3 pick, but Singleton is someone to keep your eye on. 220, 6 pounds, and he also keep in mind he injured his
226 pounds.
Did I say that? I did say that.
No, none of them are paying attention.
No? Okay. Yeah,
okay,
they are
Kyle.
checked out.
Yeah, you said 220, 6 pounds.
6
so
foot.
Newborn baby.
But at the Senior Bowl, which is, obviously after the collegiate season, he injured his foot. So if you want to talk about dropping in the draft of the 5th round, that could be a legit reason. Like he is dealing with an injury, so a team would have to sacrifice some of that time. I did like the prospect. Like Katrin Allen, his running mate there at Penn State, I preferred Nicholas Singleton from a fantasy football perspective.
I didn't realize Singleton was going to get that long of a segment. Otherwise, I would have shut that whole thing down.
Okay. That's why I went.
I'm going with Zachariah Branch. Zach Branch of the Atlanta Falcons. He's a 3rd-round pick. Now, his production profile is one that we can be scared off of for fantasy football when everything is so manufactured for a kid in college. Like, you're not running the true NFL routes.
The screen warrior.
Yes. But there is an opportunity here, a third-round pick by the Falcons, also known as a day 2 pick. He's athletically gifted. He's a bit undersized, but there's room for him. There is absolutely room.
There's room for him anywhere because he's so small.
Thank you. Yes, you can
5'9",
put him in a
177.
carry-on. But it's Drake London, yes, and Kyle Pitts. We got the franchise tag, but Kyle Pitts is just such a weird player who sometimes shows up, sometimes doesn't. And Branch can easily earn himself, essentially a full-time role here for the Atlanta Falcons, and maybe they're able to manufacture him touches as well. For a third-round pick, being drafted
this.
late.
So usually when you're a screen warrior and usually when you're undersized, 2 big strikes against you where I don't like betting on those prospects. And I do think Zachariah Branch will fail. However, I love betting on him specifically because he is worth the reward if he succeeds. Most of these guys in 2026, the wide receiver draft class, I think a lot of them are going to be good NFL wide receivers, a lot of good depth pieces, but not make an impact on fantasy football. They're going to be their wide receiver 2 or 3 for their team. They're going to help move the chains and be important and not be someone you're starting in your lineup. Zachariah Branch has a superpower where if it hits, the Tyreek Hill whispers, I don't think I've seen another prospect who has the same burst as Tyreek Hill other than Branch. When he
4.35,
it's not even
fast.
It's not even the 4.35. There's
off the line.
Just the burst from stop to start is outrageous. Tyreek was obviously he's a one of one.
Yeah,
and he's built far more than Branch to be able to take the NFL punishment. But I do think if Branch hits, it's going to be a higher ceiling than a lot of the other round 3, round 4 rookie picks. So I like that as a sleeper option. And then my sleeper option, I've personally drafted him everywhere. I've put my
You are a big supporter.
I'm a big supporter. Ted Hurst, wide receiver, drafted in the 3rd round by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I like the film.
The Broadhurst?
The Broadhurst. We'll work on this.
No. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. The last 2 seasons, he led college football in 20-plus yard receptions. He is 6'4", 206. He is a tall, field-stretching, heir apparent. He is not Mike Evans. He's not a first-round NFL pick. He doesn't have the production profile of Mike Evans, but they're bringing him into that role. That Zach Robinson literally was just saying having a true X weapon in an offense is important. Speaking of Ted Hurst, the draft pick, they just lost Mike Evans, so I think he does come in and maybe he splits time to start the season. But it looks like Emeka Egbuka is going to be in the Z role. Chris Godwin is a slot player. Ted Hurst has an opportunity as a day 2 pick. Who I really did like the film. I think he's a good. He high points the ball well. He always gets open deep. He uses his speed very well, and I think he'll work. So Ted Hurst, I think that's a name people need to pay attention to because, again, just like Branch, what he does as a 6'4" wide receiver who had a lot of fade catch touchdowns over smaller DBs and did him very well. If he hits, he's going to be a touchdown machine in the NFL, and he goes to a good quarterback in Baker who can throw touchdowns.
He's interesting because the pre-draft process. So he went to Georgia State, so a D1 school, but a smaller conference. I was like, oh boy, it's Hakeem Butler all over again.
Yeah,
where all the fantasy nerds were
Butler.
look at this 6'4" guy's running 4.4, and then the NFL is like, we don't want Hakeem Butler, but 3rd round pick.
Yeah, Butler fell to the 5th, right?
5th or
so
6th round.
NFL got that right.
So the NFL decided, at least the Bucs decided, that we're going to go in on Ted Hurst, and where he's being drafted, I think he is a solid pick.
One of the weirdest things this year is the absence of 1,000-yard receivers on all these highly touted collegiate prospects. That's always been a barometer for me. If your best season in college wasn't 1,000 yards, I have a really hard time thinking but this year it's all of them. ever. I mean, Tyson had 1,000, Lemon had 1,000. Tate didn't, but he wasn't the one on his team. But then it's like all of the other day 2 picks, almost none of them got 1,000. Or at least Hurst, goes over that bar.
Right. Into the news.
News and notes from around the league.
Can you hit the money for me?
Oh, yeah.
Devon Achane